For a pretty long while, we got to experience our own journey aboard a cruise ship every Saturday night. This was done through the TV show The Love Boat, and in doing so, we experienced the misadventures and the romantic escapades aboard this luxury liner, supplied with an ample cast of memorable characters like Captain Steubing, played by Gavin MacLeod, Doc Bricker, played by Bernie Capel, Gopher Smith, played by Fred Grandy, Julie McCoy, played by Lauren Tweez, and Isaac, played by Ted Lang. The series flew off the charts in the ratings, and it lasted from 1977 until the spring of '86. The original 1976 made-for-TV movie, which the show was based on, was also called The Love Boat, and it was based on a nonfiction book called The Love Boats by Geraldine Saunders. She at one time was a real-life cruise director for a cruise ship company. The series was produced by Aaron Spelling. The show was filmed on real boats with actual passengers on board too. To shoot it, they really needed a boat. Not all the stuff could be done on a soundstage. To make the boat come alive, the production company shot on two real cruise ships, the Pacific Princess and the Island Princess. Real cruises were booked, and actual passengers played extras during certain scenes that required a more authentic look. For the actual people that were on vacation during these cruises, the filming was just an added bonus. The cruises known to double as shooting locales would sell out really quickly. Filming aboard an actual ship wasn't the norm, though. Like any other sitcom, it was mostly shot on sound stages that would create the look of a cabin, dining area, or the ship's hallways. Laugh tracks that were often added to popular sitcoms became very unpopular in the 1970s and 80s. So much so that shows like All in the Family and Cheers would announce that they were filmed before a live studio audience. This series was the first in several years that was not filmed in front of a studio audience and still had a laugh track. When it was canceled in 1987, it was the last show of its type to use these laugh tracks to induce people to laugh. The producer of the show, Aaron Spelling, approached Dick Van Patten as his first choice to play Dr. Adam Bricker, but he was tied up doing 8 is Enough, so he was unavailable for this show. This led them to Bernie Capel, who was a best friend of Dick Van Patten. But over the course of the show, Van Patten played several different characters over the run of the series. Isaac would be seen among the ship's crew greeting passengers as they embarked. It was discovered by the producers that only ranked maritime officers were allowed to perform such duties, and that being a bartender, Isaac was a civilian employee. Ultimately, the producers came up with a backstory that Isaac was given an honorary rank as a reward for saving the lives of passengers during a shipboard emergency. I find it kind of interesting that the entire cast of Three's Company, that including John Ritter, Joyce DeWitt, Suzanne Summers, Jenna Lee Harrison, Priscilla Barnes, Richard Klein, Norman Fell, Audra Lindley, and Don Knotts all made at least one appearance on the Love Boat over the years. Audra Lindley made the most appearances. She was on the show 8 times. The real boat that they used for some of the filming became a notorious vessel that drug smugglers used. After the Love Boat went off the air, the Pacific Princess found itself mixed up in the seedy world of narcotics. In 1998, it was reported that the liner had become a major tool for smugglers bent on trafficking drugs around the Mediterranean. At one time, more than 50 pounds of heroin was found aboard in November of 1998. The ship was then impounded in Greece during this cruise, which stranded 600 passengers until the whole ordeal could get sorted out. When the Love Boat ended, that Pacific Princess eventually got renamed MS Princess and was a fully functioning luxury liner. Although it had its drug issues, the ship's final years were spent in a state of constant repairs and unpaid debt. After it went through numerous owners and unbelievable financial problems, the MS Princess was eventually sent to a Turkish scrapyard in 2013. During its trip to Turkey, the ship began taking on water and required additional tugboats to bring it to its final destination so it could be dismantled. There are only 3 of the actors from the show that appeared in every episode of the series. During its 9-year run, plenty of the ship's crew came and went, but 3 actors were on board the series during the entire 250-episode run: Gavin MacLeod, Bernie Capel, and Ted Lang. Fred Grandy came pretty close. He starred in 246 episodes of the show. Among the show's attractions was the casting of well-known actors in guest starring roles, with many famous film stars from prior decades making rare television appearances on the series. The Love Boat wasn't the first comedy series to use this guest starring anthology format. Love American Style had used this formula 7 years earlier. And then another show called Fantasy Island, which was produced by Aaron Spelling as well, had a similar format to this show. Each episode contained several storylines. There were typically 3 of them. One usually focused on a member of the crew. A second would often focus on a crew member interacting with a passenger. And the third storyline was more focused on a single passenger or group of passengers. Fans of the show will remember the sunny cruise director named Julie McCoy, played by Lauren Tweez. Everybody loved her because she was like the girl next door. But underneath, this talented actress dealt with a secret problem. She was addicted to cocaine, and this emptied her bank account, wrecked relationships and marriages, and lost her the great job that she had on the show. They eventually got tired of dealing with her and fired her from the show. She started using cocaine almost immediately once she found out that she had gotten the job on the Love Boat. She was coaxed into it by a friend, and she just said, "What the heck?" Before she knew it, she had that monkey on her back. She was doing everything she could to keep her job, to keep her husband, to keep her house, and it all was falling apart. She was destroying herself on national TV. She states that she acted poorly at work because she never slept. After she was fired from the show in 1984, she went into some kind of treatment center and straightened her life up. I find it so enlightening when you see these actresses and actors go through such troubling times while in Hollywood and then come out the other side and live a fairly normal life. There's not a big percentage that do this, but there are some, and she definitely is one. Later in her years, she went to cooking school and is employed as a chef when she's not doing periodic acting jobs and voiceovers. The Love Boat was truly a success in the ratings. During its time on the air, it ranked among the top 20 shows, and even in the top 10 at some points. It's always a blast to watch this show. As corny as it is, it's still a fun escape. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.